Happy day, happy life, happy journey. Welcome to Walking the Path. I'm so grateful to be talking to you today from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in beautiful downtown Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And it is a beautiful day. I'm just looking outside because outside's right there. Blue skies, white clouds, little afternoon rain today. It's the height of the rainy season right now in Costa Rica. And it is one of my favorite times of year here. And life is just beautiful. It reminds me of the abundance of life, the abundance that's out picturing everywhere. And the jungle here is just bursting forth with life. And it reminds me of the truth that life is abundant. Everything is unfolding in divine perfection. So I want to share with you today's topic is there's no off the path. This came to me last night, right? Because, I was thinking, oh, that really took me, that was a detour, right? We all have detours in our life, and well, I felt like I had a detour. And then I realized that was a necessary detour. There's no off the path. Everything is on the path. Everything is grist for the mill. Everything is unfolding for our absolute best and highest individual and collective good all the time, always, no matter what the appearance is, no matter what the circumstance. So, hey, Rick, yeah, man, you're not off track, Rick. What's up? What's up, brother? Blessings to you too, my brother. Thank you. I'm so glad you're back on track, but there was no off track, right? It was all track. It's all track. Debbie, so great to see you. Aloha, sister. And Rebecca, so glad you guys are here. Thank you. I love saying hi to you guys. So keep letting me know where you're calling from and what's going on. Debbie says, but those damn potholes. Hey, Petra, great to see you. Yeah, there are some potholes. Robert, Boozo, what's up, man? I don't know what Boozo means, but okay. So everything is on the path. There's no off the path. That means anything that we're going through, right? How do we locate that? And you know what? Here's the other thing. There's this other part of spiritual growth and development that has me sometimes say, like, I shouldn't, even if I got off the path and I was beating myself up for getting off the path, and then I go, I knew that there was no off the path, right? Like I'm beating myself up for not remembering the spiritual principle. I'm beating myself up for not being more spiritual during going through a hard time. I'm beating myself up for maybe getting a little bit upset when I hit that pothole, right? Hey, Cristobal from Chile. And hello, Roberta. Hello. Oh, that's hello in Ojibwe. Very cool. Buzho. Thank you, Roberta. So even when we feel like I should have been more spiritual during that process, I should have been more awake. I shouldn't have reacted so much. I shouldn't have had that drink. I shouldn't have whatever. That's even on the path. Because the thing is that I notice myself beating myself up from both sides. For example, I have a story that I've been noticing that I feel like I need help, right? Like I need somebody to help me. I need somebody to help me with my social media. I need somebody to help me write this piece. I need somebody to help me. Like I work better in collaboration, right? And so I have this story that I can't do it on my own. I need help, which help is fine. But the story is I can't do it on my own. I need help. The other side of that story is I have to do it on my own, right? That's the other side. Like you should be doing it on your own. Both of those things aren't necessarily true. I can do it on my own and I can do it with other people. Nothing is wrong. The realization and the awareness of those two seemingly contradictory things, I have to do it on my own, or I need help. I can't do it on my own. So I need help. I can't do it on my own is actually supposing, it's a presupposition that I should be doing it on my own. So either way, I'm beating myself up on both sides. All there is to do is to bring our awareness to this. Barbara from Athens, Greece. Hello. Beautiful, from Athens, Greece. Ines asks, what's the longest stay with your program? We have a 7-day and a 14-day stay here at Rythmia. So back to this idea that that there's no off the path, that whatever you're going through, you are growing through. You're growing through it. And things manifest in our lives for different reasons. So, a lot of times we ask the question, why did this happen? Somebody will say, why do bad things happen to good people, right? But why did this happen to me? What is the universe trying to teach me, right? Well, that's a good question. But there's really 4 windows of manifestation. And this is really taught by, these are agape principles as developed and taught by Michael Bernard Beckwith. This beautiful idea of the 4 windows of manifestation is a great way to understand why things happen in our lives and how we can stay on the path, even when things are manifesting, and why it really is for our good. Everything really is working out together for our good. By the end of this talk, we're going to have 3 affirmations that we're going to put. I got to tell you, I've started doing this again. It's back to basics. I put these alarms on my phone, and I put affirmations in the alarm. So 3:33. Oops, let me see. I can't do this. 3:33, 4:44. I have one at 2:22. So 3 different times during the day. At 2:22, the affirmation is, I don't know if you can see it, I release every sense of condemnation. I release every sense of condemnation. Affirmation 1. Affirmation 2, at 3:33, I live in complete confidence. I live in complete confidence and expect new and wonderful experiences to come to me. I live in complete confidence and I expect new and wonderful appearances to come to me. And at 4:44, my alarm goes off to remind me that I am open and available to more good than I have ever experienced, created, or manifested before. So those are my 3 affirmations. I got a couple more that I'm going to give you. Everything always works out for me. I love that one. I love that one. So the idea is there's no off the path. We need these little affirmations, I do, to help remind me that I'm on my journey and that everything's already working out and that I'm open and available to new and wonderful experiences. And I release every sense of condemnation about anything that I should or shouldn't be doing, right? So these 4 windows, let's get back to the 4 windows of manifestation and how we can work with that. But first, let's acknowledge that Michelle is hello from Pittsburgh. You'll be arriving at Rythmia on Saturday. We'll see you, Michelle. Please come up and talk to me. Barbara, it's not easy right now to accept all the restrictions reading the C story. Yes, I trust and have faith as well. Okay. So again, Barbara, thank you for that. I'm with you. And here's what we know. Here's what we know. That circumstances come and go. Let's not get caught up in appearances, right? We have to pay attention to what's going on in the world. Absolutely, absolutely. But we must hold the frequency of that which we are seeking to create and what we want to emerge. So Barbara, you're saying it's difficult to accept all the restrictions and the whole story about COVID. And yes, you have trust and faith as well. I so appreciate you saying that. Hey, Chantel. Hey, Jomar from Sydney. What's up? But Barbara, I want to just acknowledge you for bringing that into the conversation. And I want to say, we see the heaviness of these restrictions, whatever side of the fence that you're on, right? Whether you think they're good or you think they're bad, whether you think we should or we shouldn't, doesn't matter. There's this, yes, she says, Barbara says, I know, hold the frequency high. It's alchemy, right? We've got to hold the idea. We have to hold in consciousness the idea of what's seeking to emerge. We cannot have anything in 3-dimensional reality unless we have it in consciousness first. So this is the idea, is that we must, thank you, Barbara. She says, that's what you teach as well. Barbara, what do you do? Tell me about you. And thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful that you're here and bringing your consciousness to this conversation. But if I can share this idea with you, is that we must hold in consciousness that which we before we can have it. We must have it in consciousness before we can have it in reality. This is the truth and the principle that the field informs the form. The form doesn't inform the field. The field informs the form. So I have to see it before I can have it. I have to hold it in my awareness before it can manifest. That's the truth. And now we're talking back. She's a holistic healer. Hey, Barbara, thank you. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So back to the 4 windows of manifestation and why things manifest. So at Agape and Reverend Michael teach that the 4 windows of manifestation are one, the window of manifestation we call the Job effect. Window of manifestation we call the lesson. Window of manifestation we call the blessing. And window of manifestation that we call race consciousness, right? 4 windows of manifestation. The first window is the Job effect. That means that where we place our attention, our energy goes. Job in the Bible, if you recall, he was a very wealthy man, and his biggest fear was that he'd lose all of his wealth. And apparently, God and the devil were talking, and the devil was saying, Job is, he's your faithful servant because he's got so much stuff, right? What if you took everything away from him? Would he still be your faithful servant? And Jesus said, or God said, you can do anything, just don't hurt him, but you can do anything you want. And so little by little, all of Job's possessions were taken away. His worst fear was realized. So sometimes we place so much attention on that what we're afraid of, that we actually manifest it. So there's a call to bring our awareness, again, to hold the frequency of what's seeking to emerge, not the frequency of what we don't want to occur. Stop placing our awareness on what we don't want and put it on what we do want. Simple. First window of manifestation. Things manifest because we are placing our awareness on them, and our worst fears are realized because we're so worried about them. Number 2, a lesson. Sometimes our higher self kind of kicks us off the curb to teach us something. It's a lesson that we don't necessarily want to learn, and we've all had that experience, and we've gone through something, and we would have never wanted to go through it if we would have known before. But on the other side, we're grateful that we went through it. So the second window of manifestation is our higher self sometimes throws something into our experience as a means of teaching us a lesson, something that we have to learn, something that's seeking to be healed, something that's seeking to be brought to the light. And then the third window of manifestation is blessing. Sometimes, look, life is a mystery. We don't know. It's called mysticism. We don't know for sure, right? There's a deep knowing. We've had ecstatic experiences of oneness. We've seen things in ceremony. We've seen things in meditation, right? But nobody really, really knows, right? Life is a mystery, a great mystery. And it's amazing and awe-inspiring. So we have to trust the third window of manifestation is sometimes things emerge and they don't seem like they're a blessing. They don't seem like it's really good for us, but it really is. I love the story that I've been telling a little bit. Maybe I've said it in a couple past Facebook Lives, but there's a guy that has a horse, right? And his neighbor comes by and goes, "Oh, you're so lucky you have a horse." And the guy goes, "Perhaps." And then the next day the horse runs away. The neighbor comes by and he's one of those neighbors, right? "Oh, too bad. You're so unlucky. Your horse ran away." The guy goes, "Perhaps." And then the next day, the horse comes back with like 7 other horses. So the neighbor comes by, he's like, "Oh, look, you got all those horses. You're pretty lucky." The guy goes, "Perhaps." Then the next day, the guy's son is riding one of the horses and he falls off and breaks his leg. Boom, that neighbor was right there. "Oh, what happened?" "Oh, you're so unlucky." The guy goes, "Perhaps." The next day, the military comes by, collects all the young men of age in the community and take them off to war. But the man's son had a broken leg, so he couldn't go. So the neighbor comes by, "Oh, you're so lucky," right? "Perhaps." It goes on and on and on. What we think is bad might not be. We have to stay, no matter what the appearances are. Jesus said, don't get caught up in appearances. And Jesus is just all right with me. Let me tell you, don't get caught up in circumstance. Those things are changing, and we are more powerful magicians and alchemists than we will ever really know. Nothing is being withheld. We're more powerful than we could imagine. And if we hold the frequency by doing our own inner work, healing ourselves, bringing those areas to light with forgiveness and self-acceptance. Forgiveness and self-acceptance, as we continue to purge all of that unforgiveness out, all of that hatred of self, our own inner civil war. We continue to do our work through meditation, through ceremony, through sacred service, through sacred study, through being present with others, through our nature connect, through our prayers, through all of these things. We continue to do our work, and we begin to see that no matter what the appearances are, something is happening for our highest good. And when we can't see it, we wait for it. We wait for it. We wait to see, with all this shit, there's got to be a pony somewhere. Let me see that pony, baby. Right? That's the idea. Might be standing in a bunch of shit, but the optimist is saying, well, with all this shit, there's got to be a horse here. Let me find that horse. It's in here somewhere. Right? So this is where we say, we don't know. Things could manifest for a blessing. They might look like it was bad to begin with, but it's actually good. We just don't know. We just don't know. There's a mystery to life. We have to trust life. And we can trust life because life is always given itself to us. Always. From the very beginning. How do I know that life is loving? How do I know God is loving? How do I know the universe is loving? I know because it has given us the gift of life with no condition. We've been given this gift and we can do whatever we want with it, no matter what the hand we've been dealt, supposedly, right? No matter what hand. The only power that we have is our ability to respond to the hand that we've been dealt. What are we going to do with it? Because I'll tell you what, I was playing Monopoly a couple weeks ago. When was the last time you guys played Monopoly? I had a couple people over the house and let's play Monopoly. So we played Monopoly. Well, starts off the game. Everybody, for whatever reason, I couldn't roll. Whatever I was rolling, I couldn't buy. I couldn't land on anything to buy. I kept landing on like community chest and chance and being forced back and forth these places. And by the time I got to a place that I could buy, everything was bought up. I had like the shittiest property right after you pass go. Those two brown properties, the ones that are worth like $3, that was all I could buy. So I bought that. And everybody else had all this property, and I had my one little property. And I totally felt that FOMO, like, oh, I missed out on my property. This game's going to suck, right? And then little by little, on my one property, I put houses, and then I put hotels. And then somebody landed on it, bam. Even though it was a shitty property, I had like 3 hotels on it. So, before I knew it, everybody was trading with me because they were landing. I'd buy a property. They'd have to trade the property because they didn't have any cash. They all had property. They didn't have any cash. I had a bunch of cash. By the end of the game, I owned the whole board. I owned everything. So don't get caught up in appearances. You never know. You never know. Trust. Yes. Okay. So let's look at some of these comments, you guys. I love it. We've got, Belinda from West Coast, Canada. Hello, Rick Everett. It's hard not to focus on what could go wrong. What advice would you give for that? Okay, well, look, dude, what a great question. We have to be aware of what's happening in our present circumstance, right? Life is like chess. You have to pay attention to the next move and the end game. And you have to do it both at the same time. And anyone that pays attention more to one than the other is going to be sorely disappointed with the outcome, right? So we've got to be in the world, but not of it. So we definitely need to keep our wits about us, right? God gave us a mind to assess and to protect ourselves. And we need to have some sense, right, of personal protection, personal boundaries, what resonates with us, what doesn't. And yet at the same time, we can't just focus on what's going wrong. We have to hold an awareness of that which is seeking to emerge, that which is, and look, here's the thing. You guys are all leaders. You wouldn't be on this call if you weren't a leader in your own life and in the life of others. You're seeking something. You're seeking to express something is seeking to express through you. Guess what? Being a leader is being on the vanguard. Being a leader is being on the edge of what's uncomfortable. So Rick, when you say all this stuff could go wrong, you're on the edge of what's uncomfortable. But now we can change that. Okay, I'm just on the vanguard. Of course it's going to be uncomfortable. It's new. Yes, it's all right. So, what could go wrong? You said it's hard not to focus on what could go wrong. Reverend Michael said one day, and I love this saying, he goes, focusing on what could go wrong, that's like paying money. That's like paying interest on money you haven't even borrowed yet. Focusing on what could go wrong is like paying interest on money you haven't even borrowed yet, right? Like, so we got to pay attention to what's going on in the world, but I'm in the world, but not of it. I've got my eye on the sparrow. I've got my eye on God. The only lack I need correct is my sense of separation from God. And if I'm in tune with the infinite, there's nothing wrong. If I'm in tune with the infinite, I'm at one with it. There's nothing against me. There's no contra energy. There's nothing, no opposite. God knows no opposite. God knows no fear. God knows no confusion. God knows no uncertainty. That's the nature of the divine. That's the nature of the divine mother. So that's it. We stand in joyful expectation of new and wonderful experiences. Now I got to make sure I'm taking care of my stuff down here, but I'm standing in expectancy of new and wonderful experiences. And I'm not confused about it. There's no confusion in the sun rising. Sun rises, sun sets. There's no uncertainty. That sucker's coming up, that sucker's going down. That's the nature of the universe. So there's no uncertainty in us. We get it confused up here, but that's why we have our practice. That's why we can come into community. So that's the piece, brother. That's a great question. So don't focus on what could go wrong. And it's like paying interest on money you haven't even borrowed yet. Be aware of what's going on in the current circumstance and hold the frequency of that which is seeking to emerge, because we know there's no uncertainty in God. And for sure, there's always, always, always a dawn to every dark night of the soul. There's always, always, always a spring to every winter. So there's always, always, always homeostasis, balance, harmony, order seeking to emerge, no matter how chaotic and confusing it is. We've got to hold the frequency of that which is seeking to emerge. Yes. Woo. All right. Chantel, give thanks for what you have and what good is coming your way. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Who else? Debbie's telling me to preach. Rick, did the live crash? No, man. Am I off? Am I off? Am I still on? That's weird. Yours is crashed. Sorry, Rick. Hi, Angie. Chantel. Aho. Yes, wonderful experience on the way. I am open and available to more good. I like this. I like this one. I expect new and wonderful experiences. Today, I expect new and wonderful experiences. There's an affirmation. Put that on your phone, on your alarm, on your phone, and write that. How about this one? Everything always works out for me. This is my favorite one. Everything always works out for me. When I'm doing something and it's like, oh, I hope this doesn't crash. Oh, I hope this still works. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Just hold that vibration and watch. Wow, you guys. Okay. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for each of you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. And I know for each one listening live or to the recorded version of this live, that each one is surrounded by this infinite intelligence, that new and wonderful experiences are unfolding for you every day, every breath, every moment. That you walk in the love of God, knowing there is no uncertainty. There's no confusion. There's only the direct path of clarity that lays itself out in front of you with ease, peace, and grace. That's what I know to be true. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm wishing you infinite blessings, more blessings than you could contain. They just overflow the banks of your awareness. That's what I'm talking about. So we can share the blessings with others. So that which we claim for ourselves, we claim for others, and we say, and so it is. All right, brothers and sisters, love you. See you soon. Wait, my friend from El Paso. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Parmadial, mucho gusto. Pues voy a visitarte muy pronto porque tengo familia en El Paso. Okay. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much.